do you think about Luton?
It's good team.
Are Luton staying up?
11th.
11th. How many points?
11.
Hello YouTube and welcome to Germany, the home of Luton Town's first game in Europe for quite a while and also Oak Road Hatter's first ever vlog. We've ditched the podcast mics and cameras and we thought that we'd take the first ever Luton game to you live on camera. For those of you that know Kieren and myself personally, you know that we travel Europe and go to loads of games far and wide. PSV, Roma, Sevilla, Leverkusen. So now the chance for us to watch Luton in Europe is so special for us and we wanted to take you with us. For those of you who are here for the first time, like this video, subscribe, follow us on YouTube to watch both this and more content like our podcast throughout the season. But for now, we're off to Bochum to get the train and meet all the Luton fans.
Who is your number one signing so far?
That geezer there, Chong. Cheese and Chong, baby.
Cheese and Chong. What about you, sir?
Ryan Giles.
Ryan Giles. So, under good authority, this top man is a big fan of the podcast. So, Ryan Giles or Alfie Doughty?
Start of the season, Alfie Doughty, I'd say best player after Lockyer and Morris last season, so it's harsh to drop him in, but then again, Ryan Giles coming in for 5 million to sit on the bench seems a bit, don't think we'd do that, so I reckon we'll probably play Giles.
We got Giles, we got Doughty, both playing pretty much the same position. If you could pick one, who would it be?
I don't know, mate. I feel Giles is better going forward. Doughty's better at defending.
I'd agree with that 100%.
Consensus so far, Ryan Giles. Who do you think is going to be our player of the season?
Colton Morris, 15 goals, 10 assists, staying up. Easy.
Carlton's on fire. Final league position, and if you want an extra bonus, how many points?
17th, 38 points, survived by 1 point, Everton in 18th.
Ooh, and who's going down with Everton?
Nottingham Forest and Sheffield United.
Sorry, boys, someone's got to. Everyone's got us down to get relegated. No one thinks we're beating 11 points. Gentlemen, how many points are we getting this season?
36. Just stay up.
Europe.
I respect it, but
Genuinely 36.
Champions League, Europa, or Conference League?
Conference this year, but Champions League year after.
I like
Robbie Edwards. It's nailed on.
Inevitable.
you heard it first. So, where's our final league position?
I think 16th. 16. I'll take that.
17.
And if we're not going down, who is?
Sheffield United, Bournemouth and Wolves, I think. Those are three.
Sheffield United, Forest, surprisingly, and Bournemouth.
You heard it here first. We are staying up, so we are staying up.
So Kieren, we want to walk down to the ground. First thoughts on Bochum as a town?
Quite nice, actually. People are lovely. They've all sort of come up and drawn comparisons to Bochum and Luton as clubs, which is nice. Showing us a lot of respect. Very hospitable. Good drinks so far as well. All in all, good experience.
So we're going to walk down to the ground now. We have no idea where we're going, but we're following two Bochum shirts. So I think that's probably as good as Google Maps, don't you?
Usually a good sign. I mean, I'd rather follow that than the abundance of Luton fans that went the opposite direction. So, yeah, we'll see you there. Oh, Luton's very own Cam with me. Cam, thoughts on the season so far, i.e. pre-season, and how you think we're going to do going forward?
Pre-season, okay. Well, it's okay so far. Honestly, if we get anywhere near to close to staying up, I think we've had a good season, to be quite frank. If we get to the last 3 or 4 games, we've still got a chance, then I think we've had a pretty good season.
Happy days. Now, position we're going to finish in and points total.
Oh, no, you're troubling me now. As long as we got, what is it, 10 or 11? What's the...
11 is
It's
Derby's
11.
record.
As long as we get to like, I reckon we'll get to... What's the average going down?
I reckon anything above 12 is a success.
You reckon? I reckon we'll get close to 30. I reckon we'll get close to 30, maybe 35. But as long as we have a couple of big upsets, like we upset a couple of the big teams, then I'll take that. I'll take that.
Sweet. And finally, who is going to be our player of the season?
To be fair, so far, Chong has impressed me. He looks quality.
Yeah. So, thoughts on the game? What's your thoughts on Luton after that game 1?
Game 1?
Yeah.
Or maybe we could shoot more goals, but Luton town.
What's your thoughts on Luton?
Not so bad as I thought.
Okay. Not as bad as we thought. So, what do we know about Luton? Before this game, did you know anything about us?
I knew you have a very nice stadium, and I want to get to the away block. Is it that in English? The away block?
The away end, yes.
The away end. I want to get into there.
Man wants to see the gardens. He wants to see the gardens.
They get up into the Premier League.
Yeah.
Very nice success.
That's it. That's it.
I don't want to get a jersey. How much is it?
Jersey. We got to hook our man up with a jersey. We'll sort you out. Don't worry. Here we go. He loves Luton Town. Loves Luton Town.
Your motto is stay in the Premier League.
That's it. What do you think about Luton?
It's good team. You have a big tradition.
Yeah.
You know tradition. A small team in the Premier League is good. All have money, but Luton Town have heart.
There we go. Bochum boys know the drill. Happy days.
So, okay, we're back in the hotel after 3 hours of football. I know we all love football, but 2 games back to back, they are quite exhausting.
Very much so.
I guess overall, lost the first game 2-1, won the second 3-1. So a nice aggregate win against Bochum. Our first European victory, 4-3. But let's break it down. Let's go to the start. First game, it was a fairly strong side. What was your overall thoughts on the first game?
For Bochum, I was impressed at how they pressed. Well-oiled pressing machine. Now, where they typically finish in the Bundesliga, I don't think we get to see that from them quite a lot. They're very much bottom half, don't get the opportunity to press teams, and it showed that sort of today they wanted that opportunity to come at us, and they did. I'm not sure if we expected it to be as aggressive. Obviously, their first goal, albeit very sloppy at the back, came from that exact concept of them just pressing, and just wouldn't give us a second of space at any point. So yeah, generally speaking, my expectations of them were a little bit lower than what we got given, which is a good thing. So I like to be surprised.
And it's interesting. I think normally people make out that the Premier League is so much stronger than other leagues, and you'd think that maybe Bochum being a lower half Bundesliga's team, that actually they're probably on par with or below us. But I thought, I agree. I thought they were very strong. They're further on in their progression than us. I think, what are they, second or third year Bundesliga now? So that they've had 2 or 3 years of I guess top flight, and albeit financially nowhere near the riches of the Premier League, but they've had 2 or 3 years of being a top flight club to be able to develop into a strong outfit. And I agree. I thought pressing wise they're fantastic. Put our midfield for under a lot of pressure. I think it was a test that we needed. I think the pressing was so different to what we've seen in the Championship. And I just think that we're going to see that a lot next season. So I hope that the players learn from that. For Pelly at right centre half, obviously I love him, but that's not his position. So hoping that Osho and or Bert come back fit very soon, or potentially get a new centre half in. Because if not, if Osho and Bert are out for a long time, then that's going to be an area of interest. I think that probably the reason why we didn't see Anderson at all. I think normally you would expect Anderson to play, but given the injuries to Osher and Bert, the last things you want is to get Anderson injured as well in this game, which I guess coming on to injuries, both Clark and Potts stretched it off. It seems like it wasn't as bad as it made out. I think Clark managed to get off the stretcher and sort of hobble down the tunnel. So I think that wasn't as serious as first feared, but I guess it shows that balance right between having a really important test for the team for pre-season, but then also don't get injured, basically. So I think that was a slight, I guess, red mark on today.
Yeah, I think the trouble is I sort of saw a few people saying about injuries and sort of, it's not ideal that we're getting injuries and things like that, but it's part and parcel of football. And the trouble is if it then, say for example, we played that game at 70%, and no one gets injured, but we get beaten 5-0, like you've not learned anything from that. So injuries, they're going to happen. Luckily for us, both of them are knocks. Clark more so than Potts, purely because as it stands, he probably is one of our first 3 midfielders on that team sheet. So the fact that they both managed to get off stretchers is somewhat relieving.
Yeah, and then second game, Luke Berry scoring twice. I mean, seeing Clark go off injured, is there a shout to start Berry on next Saturday at Brighton? I think obviously Pelly probably would move forward, but I mean Berry scoring twice. I thought he was the Frank Lampard sort of player that we all know he is, and it'll be really exciting to see him in the Premier League potentially.
Yeah, the Bury Park Frank Lampard. For me, he stated the case today absolutely that I think if Clark's not going to play next week, you look at Pelly or Berry. As much as there's a sentimental value to Pelly starting that first Premier League game, if you're Rob Edwards, it's a tough decision because Luke Berry has made a case for, he scored 2 goals against still what was a decent Bochum side, and you need that quality going into a game, especially like Brighton away. We need that. So if Pelly's not going to offer it and Berry is, in the nicest way possible, Berry's the one that makes the team sheet.
So then let's go on to the new signings. Is there anyone that stood out for you? I mean, I think for me, Kaminsky in goal looked very assured. I sort of thought back to like a Sluga where I think Sluga for us made a lot of world-class saves, but he lacked that confidence in goal. And I think Kaminski was the exact sort of keeper that we need in this moment. Someone that has the confidence and gives confidence into the back three or back five. He came out, claimed balls. His starting position was very good. There's a few balls in behind, and he was up there and on it. And I think there was one stat before we signed him where his average position in for sort of goalkeeping was very high, which you saw that today. Is there anyone else? Obviously, Kaminski, thoughts on him, and was there any other new signings?
To sort of follow on regarding Kaminski, I think the key thing for me was the quickness and the reactions to everything. It was makes a save and doesn't just stand there like a sore thumb. It's like, right, ball's rolled out. Who wants it? Where are we going? Like his immediate reaction is just right. Let's get the ball rolling because the other team aren't playing. And I like that about him. Shot stopping, really good. Commands his area well. Comes out, claims things. Just exactly what I think we've been missing. Horvath didn't really communicate that much. And it's easy to say in hindsight when you now have something else to compare it to that's on a similar level. And again, like I always sort of mention the last couple of weeks about we've had this player, now we have that player, and it's like that next level above. Kaminski is that evolution of Horvath for me. Chong stood out purely because I was yet to see him in person. Every time he gets the ball, head up, head forward, direct, run. That boy can run.
Yeah.
And he had a few pot shots. There's a few times we're thinking, oh, he's going to hit one. And it's a matter of time before he scores an absolute rocket or five for us.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, for me, someone else, Ryan Giles. I think set pieces last season we could have done so much more. And I guess that's really being picky because he got promoted to the Premier League, but there were so many games where we just were lacking at set pieces, and I'm just so excited to see sort of what Giles can do from the sort of those sort of deep free kicks or from corners, and for us next season, goals are going to come so hard. We need to make sort of the most of every goal we can get. So corners and set pieces are going to be absolutely vital. I guess more generally, what was it like seeing Luton in Europe? I mean, obviously we've spoken about the football side of things, but for us as sort of mid-20-year-old guys, this is the first time in our lifetime we've seen Luton play in Europe, and that's obviously we've not played in Europe before in terms of a game that means anything. But we've certainly played sort of previous cup competitions like the Anglo-Italian Cup and friendlies. But for us, our first ever European game watching Luton, what was that like for you?
It's for me like the icing on the cake. Like obviously, a lot of people who now watch this will know we did the Dutch Super Cup yesterday. Spent our evening in Eindhoven and Rotterdam, and we're used to that sort of thing. We're used to going and seeing all the big teams in air quotes, and always wondering what it's like to do it ourselves. And now we're at this point where we are doing it ourselves. We've gone to see Luton in a foreign country, and it's always funny because there was a few Bochum fans after the game that like they had so many good things to say about us, but they were like, "But seriously, why are you here?" And we're like, because we've never had this experience, and there's a lot of people who don't ground hop like me and Jamie do, or don't ground hop like other Luton fans. So they don't get this experience every 2, 3, 4 months. They get it every 5, 10, 15 years. So the fact that we've been able to have that experience is a taster, hopefully, of what is to come for future generations of Luton fans.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on Bochum. Obviously, we spoke to a few fans, which you would have seen before, guys, on the video, and everyone was just lovely. Just the things they were saying about Liam was so funny. It's quite clear that our football stadium has traversed the globe by now in terms of the away end, and even what one guy, as we mentioned earlier, was just talking about everything he knew about Luton. It's crazy to hear someone that has a different life to us, just knows so much about our club when it's come up from the 5th tier and now in the Premier League. So no, big shout out to the Bochum fans. They were all lovely. Everyone you met was helpful, and we're more than happy to talk to you. And yeah, one day, who knows, we may meet in a European competition. As for tonight, Dusseldorf, I've been before. Kieren, you haven't. There's a few Irish bars that we might visit, and we're hoping to get some more sort of footage with some Luton fans out in the city. So hopefully we'll put that in a bit. Is there anything you're looking forward to in particular tonight, Kieran?
Quite frankly, just having a few more beers with the Luton lot, to be honest, because this is a hobby that obviously we've always shared, and we share it with our friends. They don't join us very often, but when they do, they absolutely love it. So the fact that we've been able to have part of this weekend where we know that we're sharing an experience that we love and hold close to our hearts with other Luton fans that are obviously near and dear to us is an incredible experience. And we'll bond over a beer. We might bond over 10, but that's for later on. That's for you to see.
Right, cheers for joining us. This was a bit more formal part of the pod, but yeah, we'll take the night away.
So, post Bochum now, 2 games of football, 180 minutes of football. Safe to say, I'm shattered. Cheers to the beers. I've got Ryan with me though. Ryan, what was your thoughts post game?
The first game, I think we deserved to lose. I think Bochum were a lot quicker and a lot better. Maybe a lot better is probably a bit harsh, but I think we were just tired.
Yeah.
I think we're a bit slow. It was a good day out. First game, yeah. It's the minutes that we got in, and in the second game we won 3-1. I think deservedly we won 3-1. I think we kept the ball well second game. I think the two teams, there was a lot of difference in how we kept the ball for the second game. But again, it's just minutes in the tank. On to next week, which I'm really looking forward to. So yeah, it's a good weekend away.
Happy days.
2, 4, 6, 8. Udo, we appreciate LUTOM.
Archie, thoughts on the games yesterday?
First game, fucking outclassed, a little bit slow. They were high press. They were decent. Second game, Luke Berry, I fucking love him. Absolute legend.
I called him earlier on the podcast as a Bury Park Frank Lampard.
Probably cut that out, but we'll take that anyway. So,
Everyone else.
He is a Poundland Frank Lampard. Honestly, he comes in late, fucking scores goals, as you know. First goal took it well. Second goal, diving header. Bosh. Happy days.
Bosh. Job done.
Wait, we'll have that. BOSH-UM in Bochum, 4-3. Done you, ain't we?
So, where are we going to finish this season, and what's our points total going to be?
I think we're going to ruffle a few feathers. I think when Hull City did what they did a few years ago when they were back in the Premier League, I think people won't like coming to the Kenny. I think we will beat a few teams unexpected, like a big team like a Liverpool, as Bournemouth did last year. So I think we're going to come 15th or 14th, and I think we'll get 42 points.
I respect that. That's the best total so far, by the way.
Is it? Okay.
So, who's actually going to answer some questions? All right.
What's the question?
If you were listening, you'd find out, wouldn't you?
It's not a question.
How many kids? So, post-match, Bochum, what was your thoughts on yesterday's 2 games?
Average, really. First game weren't there. Second game was just fucking on the bag and that.
There we go. So what? We actually need a...
And that's what I call him, We've been to Alfreton and Accrington, Barnet at midday. Now we're out in Germany, Germany away, Germany away.
And finally, who do you think our player of the season is going to be?
I think it's going to be a bit of a out there one. I think Chong will be our player of the season. I think the way that he drives with the ball, the passes he can make, he's sort of, as harsh as it sounds, he's an upgrade on Clark, and I think he will drive us to staying up.
Dave Chong, if you're seeing this, we love you. He's ready now. He wants to answer the questions. So, post Bochum, what were your thoughts?
Frozen on.
Right, I'm going to ask him a simpler question. So, now we're sticking with the easy questions. Are Luton staying up?
11th.
11th. How many points?
11.
I want the Chong song.
Right.
Hey, Chong song.
I love it when he sprays balls. I love it when he scores goals, baby. Let me see that chong, baby. That chong, 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 chong.
Get that going at the Kenny this season. Pleasure, Archie. Right, so same question.
Yeah.
Points total, position, where are we finishing?
Points total, we have to get over 40.
11.
I don't know. I want it. As long as we stay up, yeah. If we sneak 16th, that'll do me.
And if we're staying up, who goes down?
Fucking
Man City, no?
Wolves probably.
Wolves and Bochum.
Maybe Bournemouth. I don't know who else. Nah, Fulham will stay up. Fulham will stay up.
Sheffield United.
Yeah,
There we
Sheffield
go.
United, definitely.
We'll take that.
Our fortress. Our little fortress.
There we go. And because we've all
We
got
get the points at home.
we've all got big mouths in here, so give us a song.
I froze again.
Let me see that chong, baby. That chong.
It was now Sunday and it's the day after the game, the first ever Luton game in Europe. For me, the first one in quite a long time. It's been unbelievable to follow the club that we all love in Europe, and I can't wait to hopefully, as Edward says, see us in Europe in the years to come. So we're on the evening flight back from Cologne, so we've got the rest of the afternoon to look around Dusseldorf and Cologne. But that brings the end of our first vlog, the 8th grade Hatter vlog. It's been amazing. The first of many, hopefully, maybe. And I hope it's just given you a taste of what it's like to follow a club around Europe. And don't forget to follow us on all of our socials. We're 8th grade Hatter almost everywhere apart from Instagram, where we're 8th grade Hatter Pod. But for now, see you later.